Sadguru Name, Yugat Guru Name, Sadguru Name, Sri Gurudeve Name, Adguru Name, Yugat Guru Name, Sadguru Name, Sri Gurudeve Name, Adguru Name, Yugat Guru Name, Sadguru Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So good morning, everyone. So today we will talk about a very important topic in our lives, that is death. And in Kundalini Yoga, in our tradition, it is very important how to die. As important as it is to live, it is to die. I never understood that because I heard that from Yogi Bhajan, but once I understood what it meant, I decided that I could teach it. And I hope that you can go into the experience of the meditations that we are going to do today. So you can practice some of them. So when the moment comes, you are ready. So let's begin. I want to share the screen with a PowerPoint because I think it's easier for you to concentrate and to follow me. So I will go and share my screen with you. All right. So okay. So the death is a transition to life. And to begin this workshop, I would like to chant with you the Akaal. This is a mantra that is to protect us from death. Akaal means immortal, eternal. And it's a very strong and powerful mantra. And I would like you to chant it with you first. And I will do it with, here. Let me go. All right. So those are the words, Akaal. Akaal, you can read that on your screen. Just follow the music, okay? I will put the music.
Is it louder, please?
Yeah.
Akaal, City call, Mahakal, Akaal Murad. City call, Mahakal, Akaal Murad. Call, city call.
Inhale deep. And exhale. And slowly open your eyes.
Ramit, before you start, there's a question in the meeting room asking, is it better to ask question in the meeting room or just ask live?
In the meeting room, it is better alive. So because it's better that you say that anybody that have any question, please just ask me. Speak it aloud and ask me. Okay? Because in the chat for me, I am in my thing, you know. I don't read at the same time. For me, I have to concentrate not only on the workshop, but in the English. So it's too many things at the same time. So, all right. So
I have a quick question.
yes, Sharon.
Hi, Satnam.
Uh-huh.
So that mantra is very similar to Satsuri Surya Call. So is there a relationship?
Yeah, both of them talk about immortality. And this one in particular is to protect you from death.
Okay.
Yes, the other one also connects you to immortality. That is right. Both of them are very powerful, but this one in particular was given when Yogi Bayan talked about dying. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. What is death? I have a question. Do you see in the screen the yourselves and myself in your screen? So if I do that, if I do this, you don't see the all of you. There is a change.
See you on the big screen, and I see there's a lecture of some sort in the smaller screen. Maybe you want to...
I am sharing now the. You can see now the screen of the slides, right?
Yeah, I can see it, but it's very tiny.
Okay, yeah, because if I put the play, I cannot use my arrow, and I need to use my arrow. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
Danielle,
you just need to switch your view. You can see it, the PowerPoint big if you switch it.
Okay, how do I do that? Sorry, Laura.
I'm not sure.
I have you here now, but the slide is still small.
If you look up on your top.
Oh, I got it now. Yeah,
right?
I actually typed it.
You?
It's perfect. Thank you, Amanda. I got it. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Well, all right. So let's begin. Yeah, if you see the slides. All right. Perfect. So, what is death? It is a very difficult question because once you experience death, you are dead. So it has been the question of them of humans since they are humans, and we can say that we can experience death in the different ways. For example, if you think about the past, that you have already changed your cells, you change your cells every 72 hours. Some of them take a little longer, but you see your body when you were a child and you now, and you know that physically you have changed your cells. Your body is completely different, and you are still you, right? Or you can look at temporality not only through your body, that you have died so many times, but also if you see what memory is just like imagination. it is just not there anymore. So past is gone. That's it. So that is a kind of the nostalgia that we have from the past. It's because we also sometimes like feel a little bit that something died. But also we have beautiful moments, for example, in orgasm, when we die a little bit. In Spanish, we say una muerte chiquita, a little death. Because when you are in an orgasm, you are not you in that moment. You are dissolving in your beloved one, right? So that is a kind of little death. But what is more inconceivable, and it's an implacable fact, is when your loved ones die. When one person that you loved and you spend time with that person in every day and suddenly they died, you cannot understand death. It really is overwhelming. Not having that person by your side anymore. And that the body disintegrates too. It's like, what? You see the photos and you say, wow, this person just lived. It was true. This person was alive. And I could touch and kiss her or him. It's inconceivable that they are not here anymore, right? So you experience the suffering of death, and death becomes something that scares us. And another way that we can experience death is when people tell you what happens when they die. And I have a story of my mother or of my ex-husband, by Babaji, that as you know, he died. But he died before the last time he really died, because he could return, right? And my mother too. And both told me the same story of this tunnel and the bright light at the end, and the light calling to go through the tunnel to the light. But that's it. That is experience. That was very pleasant, and they didn't want to return, but they did. Different reasons. One, my mother was called by her father, and her name was so strong in her psyche that she returned. And Babaji, because the nurses just revived him. So he just came back, and he just came back, and he said that he was so angry because it was so pleasant to be there. But after that, what happens? Only yogis that can die by will and can go to the ethers. They can go to the third ether. Beyond that, they cannot return to the body. So if the yogis die by will, they can go up to the third ether and then return to the body and still be alive. And that was what happened with Yogi Bhajan. When he died, I remember to be in the Khalsa Council. We were all there remembering him. And there was this doctor of him that was talking to us, and remember that Yogi Bhajan died, but for 15 minutes, it was like he really thought that he was not coming back, but each time he returned. It was like an exercise for him, right? So what I am going to talk right now is what Yogi Bhajan told of his experience in relation to death. And the doctor, I heard him personally saying that he died and returned to life several times for minutes. So I know that Some of you can be skeptic about this, but I'm telling the truth. So this is what yogis do. All right. One of the things that death gives us is an answer of the meaning of life. I know some people can say that life has no meaning because it's so absurd just to be alive and then to die. And some people even created philosophies of the absurd, or nihilism, or those kind of philosophies that they don't think that there is something beyond death. So life, the meaning of life, is whatever you do about it in this very moment. Other people give meaning of life precisely because we die, and then life is all. And they also have philosophies related to the metaphysics and related to a life beyond death. But the meaning of life is a question that humanity has asked in all cultures and in all civilizations, and they all have a response to that. One of the things that we experience is that there is a drive in us, really a powerful drive that directs us beyond death, beyond temporality. We really want to be eternal. It is very in our nature, this powerful drive, and that comes from the soul. What is the soul? The soul is really the individualized spirit in us. And all of us that have experienced meditation, deep states of meditation, we have touched that soul. And we know that the soul is not something specific. It's this expansion of the flow of the divine in us that fills us with complete love and openness and clarity and coziness, right? And we recognize that power that drives us to something permanent all the time. So what happens? That the mind always is working here. The mind goes in two directions, opposite directions. One direction, the mind opens itself to live in love, with life, to expand, to create, yeah, to be productive, to be positive. And then there is another drive in us that limit us. That is the drive, the Thanatos drive, as Freud says, right? It is a drive to the limit, to the limits, to contraction, to everything that doesn't create, but on the contrary, makes us smaller. So there are two drives. When you are related to the one that connects to the being in you, you can live what we named free will. Why? Because free will, you can only be free if you are conscious of your acts, right? If you are not conscious of your acts and you are reacting all the time, you are contracting all the time, you cannot be free. So freedom for us is related to the soul, because the soul is consciousness. Soul is consciousness. Spirit is consciousness. That is what it is. It's love consciousness. And yes, the mind will go in these directions, but you can have the free will, if you're conscious, to open yourself to life. And this is the answer of what I said before. I understood that it's very important to know how to die, precisely because if you are conscious when you die, you will live forever. If you're not conscious when you die, you will keep dying again and again and again and again in cycles of reincarnation. So the tendency that we have in life, this tendency of being in love and expand, you create a pattern in your life. Where is your mind? Your mind is in love and expansion and compassion and these beautiful feelings that grow and make you be a better person? Or are you creating a pattern of pessimism and depression and contraction and death and limitation? What is your pattern? The tendency of that pattern will affect not only your life. If you are sad again and again and again, you will be a depressed person. Yeah. If you are angry again and again and again and again, you will not enjoy life. You will contract. Even your aura contracts. But if you are experiencing the permanent in you, love in you, you not only affect this life, being happier, but also the afterlife. So these tendencies affect what happens after death. So doing yoga, we experience what is permanent. And we have the direction to infinity, not to the finite, okay? So that is why we do this practice. At the very end, if you think about life and death, none of them belongs to us. Life is as incomprehensible as death. No power to live, no power to die. You didn't decide to live, or you decide to die. Of course, if you're a yogi, yes. But if you are not, if you don't have that consciousness, you can't. And you will understand what I mean. The last question that I have for you is, do you love enough to love temporality? What do I mean by that? If you marry someone, do you love that person enough with what this person is? And this person is a body that will get old and die. Or not even old, suddenly can die. Are you in love in such a way that you want to take the risk of being happy, even though this person body decays or have a problem or dies even? Are you going to love enough to love that person even though after he or she dies? Because that is the most important thing, what you leave in the heart of others when you have to transit. That is the most important thing. Because when you love enough, that person stays in the beat of your heart. And that is also a way of transcendence, of immortality, because you left an imprint in another. And the moment that you change another being, that person changed another one. So this goes into infinity. And this one, another one, another one, another one. It's a way of transcendence. I have here a beautiful quote of Swami Vivekananda that says, "Expansion is life, contraction is death, love is life, hatred is death. We began to die the day we began to contract, to hate others. And nothing can prevent our death until we come back to life, to love, to expansion." Okay, so let's do a kriya, a little meditation to dispel the fear of death. Okay, so sit. If you are on a chair, sit on a chair. It's okay. It's a 2.5 hours workshop, so You can sit on a chair, don't worry. So, or go into easy pose. You will cross your arms like this. Yeah. The left arm is on your body. The right wrist crosses the left one. Okay. You will close your eyes. And you will do the Mahabandha. So the Mahabandha, remember, are the 3 locks applied at the same time. The Mulban, yeah, the root lock, the anus, sexual organs, navel pointing and up. And then the diaphragm lock, that you put all the diaphragm and the navel into the spine, and then contract it up. So you can begin to feel the energy coming into the neck. And then you apply neck lock. So you feel the energy coming up to your higher center. So the Mahabandha will be applied all the time. So focus in the crown chakra and at the back of your head. Okay, so you will have the eyes up to the crown chakra, but you will concentrate on the back of your head. Okay, vibrate the Akaal Mahakal. I will chant it with you. And whenever you feel comfortable with the mantra, just stop singing. I will stop singing and just begin to vibrate it, okay, in the middle of the head. Do you have any questions? You can read here the instructions and begin. Akaal Mahakal. Akaal Mahakal. Akaal Mahakal. Akaal Mahakal. Continue chanting aloud or in silent. Just vibrate the mantra in the middle of your head. Can you please close your microphones? Thank you. And inhale deep. Hold your breath. Relax the bandhas. Relax the breath. Exhale. Relax your arms. And open your eyes. So, when it's time to go home, consciousness must be not in control of the ego, but you have to surrender. That is one important thing, to surrender to your higher self. Because dying should be a conscious process. And one of the main things that are very important in our tradition is to know that the first and the last breaths are very important, because the first breath imprints a quality during all your life. It's not only about the oxygen that the baby is born with, it's the prana, the quality of your breath. Remember that breath not only relates to prana, the life force that has all the information of your life, but also it is related to the quality of the relationship with with the divine, because breath is a relationship that you have with God. Each time you breathe is a kiss of God. How you relate to breath is how do you relate to life, to knowledge, and to love. So breath is very important, and not only has an imprint during your life, the first breath, but the last breath, the imprint of your last breath, how conscious it is, will have a repercussion in what happens with your soul after you die. So breath is very, very important. During our lifetime, death visits us 4 times. Sometimes you're conscious about it. You can say, oh, I almost died in this car accident. Maybe you had an accident and you almost died for sure, and you are still alive, right? But sometimes you're not aware, but you were this close of dying and you didn't. So the death comes and visits you 4 times during your lifetime. The 5th time, you go. You go. This was when Babaji was sick. This was very, very, very precise, because he had 4 cancers, and the 5th one he went to in transit. Okay, so what happens? Normally, we have a premonition 1 year to 90 days before we die. What do I mean by premonition? Premonition is that you are going to see the future. Not necessarily, it's just a feeling. And this happens to people. I don't know if you have experienced this, but this happened to me just a few months ago. One friend of ours came to visit. And when he was here, there was, I don't know how many years we haven't been with him and with his wife. And they just came and said, we want to visit you. Okay, there was no reason specifically. We have years and years of not seeing each other. He just came, he returned to Mexico, and he died. So some people begin to say farewell to the people that they love, not knowing exactly why, but they look for you or for a beloved one, just to say bye. And then they leave. So there is a premonition from 1 year to 90 days where you subconsciously know that you are leaving the planet Earth. Specifically and physically, the odor of your body changes. Men, the odor changes 3 days before they die. Women on the other hand, die 27 days after the odor changes. 27 days. Okay? Those are signs. So one of the mantras that we have is the Pavana Pavana. We will not do it right
Question.
now. Yes.
About the odor, is that in regards to like if somebody is dying from old age, or like if they not, it wouldn't be like an accidental death, like a car accident, your odor wouldn't change.
No,
Correct.
in accidental deaths, no.
Okay.
It is subtle. In natural deaths, the odor changes. Yeah, in karmic deaths. And we will go and talk about this also. The different kinds of deaths. Thank you for asking, Amanda. But yes, yes.
There is an special odor, or
No, you just
change.
It is difficult to explain. Just it changes. It's not the same odor. And yeah, so something the odor is not the same. And you can smell it. It's different. It's just different. Okay, this mantra, we will not do it right now. If we have time, we can chant it at the very end. But this, I want you to know that this mantra was given for us. Is the Pavana Pavana, is the mantra of the prana. So it is one mantra that conquers and allows you to experience immortality, being alive. Okay, so if you want to chant it, do that. Sharon asked about the mantra, the Satsiri Akaal and the Akaal. And yes, the Satsiri Akaal is another mantra to experience immortality, being alive. Yeah, it is related to this topic. But the Pavana Pavana is the mantra of life. You do it for 31 minutes and you activate the prana. And it is a beautiful, beautiful meditation. You just go into Gyan Mudra and chant it in Gyan Mudra and in easy pose, the Pavana Pavana, okay? If we have time, we do it at the end. And I think we will have time. We are in a very good timing right now. We will have time for question and answers and everything. Okay, so let's go to the process of dying. One of the things, and this doesn't matter if it is an accidental death, it doesn't matter how we die, we all go through this same process, okay? Through this same process. The first sign that we have is that we see cloudy black. When you close your eyes, you see cloudy black. Something changed. It's not the same black that you see normally, even with little spots of light. Just close your eyes and you will see that you have little spots of light, right? Or colors even, or yeah. But when you are dying, one of the first signs is it's just a cloudy black there, okay? Then another thing that happens is that you begin to breathe through both nostrils. The people that are familiar with the teachings, you know that both nostrils open when you rise the Kundalini, right? Because one of the things that happens when you rise the Kundalini, when both nostrils, what happens is the Ida and Pingala. I'm sorry if the other people don't understand this, but I will try to explain. The left nostril is a feminine energy flowing through you. and its name is Ida, that nadi, that channel of energy. The right nostril is Pingala. Pingala is a masculine energy in you, the sun energy. The other one is the moon energy. Here is the sun energy. When both of them coincide and balance themselves in the navel point, you can bring the Kundalini up, and both nostrils are working at the same time. Okay? When you die, and you normally, what happens is that during the day, you are breathing more with one side than with the other. For example, you are now with the right, in 2.5 hours, you will begin to breathe more with the other nostril. Okay, and it changes all the time. Why is this important? Because the nostrils have different functions in our body and affect different kinds of organs. So that is why we change nostrils breathing. It's not that you close one of the nostrils, no, but you are breathing more with one than with the other. But when you really are in a meditative state, you can open both nostrils and bring the Kundalini up. That is why during sadhana, you can have this experience more, because the prana is there. And it's easier to go into this state and to activate the Shushmana. The Shushmana is the central channel. So you have a right and a left side with the nostrils, yeah? And both, if you see, for the people that are not acquainted with this, is the nadis, the left and right nadis begin to do like this, okay? The feminine and the energy, like serpents, yeah? Through all your spine, like this, yeah? One is the left, the moon, and one is the right, as I told you. But in the middle of those it's a long light channel. It's the symbol of the medicine symbol of this Greek guy named Esculapius. Huh? Esculapio, do you remember Esculapio? The symbol of medicine that is like one straight line and then two serpents doing this. Well, it's the same thing. So the one that is in the center is the Shushmana Nadi. The Shushmana Nadi is the center channel. And through that channel, the Kundalini rises, right? And when you die, that channel, when you begin to breathe with both nostrils, begin to be activated. Yeah? So you can begin to disintegrate the elements, earth to water, water to fire, fire to air, and air to ether. And at the same time, the chakras begin to come together as when the Kundalini rises. So you can, if you are in a conscious state, you can go out through the crown chakra. That is what we want with a conscious death. Okay? So I repeat, both nostrils are working at the same time. So the Shushmana Nadi, the central channel, is working. And you begin the process of disintegrating the elements in you. Okay? One of the things that happen is our toes contract. I know you have seen people that are dying, their toes contract. Why? And that is one of the things that we do in our kriyas. When we point the toes, is because we are activating the nadis in our body. So when you die, that happens automatically. And with each chakra, the tattvas begin to dissolve one by one. We will go through it right now. And the important thing is when this begins to happen, through which hole are you going to leave the body? Because we have 10 holes. You know that. Yeah? The anus, the genitals, the nose, the ears, the eyes, and the head and the mouth, right? You want to leave from the 10th gate, the crown. Okay, that's what you want when you are dying. Some people die and leave from the mouth. There are some, I have read that when one, but I don't know if that is true because it's not specifically given by Yogi Bayan, but I read this in another yogi. I don't remember which book. I read that when someone goes through the mouth, they have a little blood, or the ears, or the eyes even. I don't know if that is true. Not necessarily I think that you will bleed, but I read it somewhere. But you can go through any of the holes, and you want to go through the crown chakra. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, I hope that the channel thing, energy channel thing is clear. And let's continue. Okay. Dissolving into the tattvas. So when we begin to die and we begin to see this cloudy black, and we begin to breathe through both nostrils, then the process really begins. As you know, the physical body and the physical realm, everything in nature, is made of the 5 elements. The 5 elements are the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether is a kind of space in a way, but it's not the space that we know. It's not physical, it's subtle. Through it, the information passes. And it's related, for example, with the mind. The mind is a kind of ether. It's not only related to the brain. Of course, the mind in physical body needs the brain to function, okay? But the people that took the training, they know that the mind goes beyond the physical body, okay? So when you begin to disintegrate, the elements in you first, before the body itself begins to disintegrate, and the parts of you return to wherever they need to return. I will go through that so you understand what I mean. But the first tattva that dissolves is the earth. So the earth dissolves in the water element. So the first chakra that is related to earth, that is in the anus, remember that? The first chakra, yeah, synthesized in the second one. Okay, just the energy begins to the second and to the third, like that. Okay, so the earth element begins to disintegrate in the water element. So what happens? What do you begin to feel? What do you begin to feel is that the sense of solidity in your body diminishes. One of the main things that we know when we are alive is matter, solid things. We think that everything is solid, right? This is one of the survival instincts, to believe that this is real. This is the basic nature of things, is solidity. Well, when the earth element begins to dissolve, you begin to lose the sense of solidity. Your body feels very heavy, very, very heavy. You feel that you begin to sink more and more. And even the outline of your body, the sensation of having an outline, begins to dissolve. You begin to not feel it anymore. So when you feel so heavy, it is also harder to move. Mainly the extremities. So the legs and the arms begin to be very, 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 very heavy. Okay? you cannot move them. Other things that stop, and if you are related to the chakras, are the intestines. Not only the extremities, but as you know, the intestines. So yeah, the function stops. You begin not to eat or to drink anymore. Even before that, because the sense of the smell changes, not changes, but goes away. Even when people that begin to die ask for their last meal, I'm talking about a natural death. They have the opportunity to ask. For example, Babaji had the opportunity. He knew that when he went to the ashram to die, he was going to die. So he lied down and he asked for a mango. He loved mangoes. And I gave him a mango, a very sweet mango, and he couldn't taste it. Okay? Because the process was beginning. That's because the smell was not there anymore. He couldn't smell it. And as you know, the smell and the taste are very related. So at that moment, you begin to not want, you don't want to eat anymore, you don't drink. And when you are beginning to disintegrate the earth and water, your intestines just stop. And the connection with the mind comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes. The sensation of being out of your body begins. Once this happens, you begin to feel that you begin to be out of your body, but you are still conscious of it. That's what you are feeling. Okay, let's go to the next element. When water dissolves in fire, you are talking about the second chakra to the third, right? So, yes?
Question. So about how, does this have a normal period of time for this earth to water?
No, it doesn't. All people go through it. The agony, as you name it, is longer. For example, Babaji began on one Tuesday and he died on Sunday. But when this begins, it doesn't. The agony can be longer. For example, he died in 6 days, right? Other people in an accident, just very fast.
Right.
But even though the death is fast, you go, once it began, you go through this process. And Yogi Bayan didn't say how long it takes for each person. But what I know is that once it begins in the moment that the body is beginning to breathe through both nostrils at the same time. So in an accidental person, it can be only one breath with both nostrils, boom, and that's it. But then after that, immediately this process begins. So as far as I know, it is the same in any person. It doesn't matter if you think that he has no pulse and he's dead already. This is happening. Even though it has no pulse, it is happening. The tattvas are dissolving. I don't think that it's longer in one person in time, relation in time, than in another, because it happens once the person begins really to die, physically. Okay. But to be very honest, Stacy, Yogi Baya never said anything about that. How much time it takes for a person that had an accident, another one that is dying in a natural death. He didn't say. So that is what I think. Okay. Okay. When the water dissolves in fire, the sensation of flowing like a warm steam begins to happen. If you think that water begins to be like a vapor, so because it dissolves in a very in the element that has fire, that is hot, of course you begin to feel like flowing, like if you are a warm steam there. Okay, so what happens physically? The fluids in the body begin to become more and more slower, more and more slower. And you can see that also in people that are dying. The mouth gets dry, the eyes get dry. Have you? Well, I have my mother died in front of me. Babaji too. My grandma. I have been present in different kind of deaths, and I have seen this, that people begin to have dry eyes, and the mouth also dries. The circulation begins to be slower and slower. The taste, of course, it not only fades, it disappears. Here, it's I have to change this because taste is not longer there. Because taste is related to the second, to the water element, but because it is dry, you cannot taste anymore anything. Of course, the intestines are already stopped. So taste is not there anymore. But the circulation, all the fluids in your body, all the watery element in your body begin to diminish, become much more difficult. Okay, much more difficult. And that is why the blood pressure drops. Yeah. And most of the time, the blood stagnates in the extremities of the body of the person that is dying. And in that moment, the sensation of lightness in your head, you really, really begin to feel lighter and lighter. And then begins to happen that the next element, the fire, begins to disintegrate in air, in the air element. Any questions? No? Everybody's good? Okay, so when fire dissolves in air, the physical sensation of heat or cold in your body diminishes. So the feeling of any temperature begin to diminishes. Maybe some people begin to say they are cold before this, because you can see that some people say, I feel cold. Yeah. But here, you are in the process of dissolving into air. So here, the sensation of any temperature, even its hot or cold, heat or cold, begin to diminish. You can put 1,000 blankets on the person. This person will not feel the difference. The temperature in the body drops. Doesn't matter how many blankets this person has on top of the body. It is harder to see, yeah, because the sight is related to the fire element and the third chakra. And the metabolism and fire or combustion in your body, of course, stops. That is the fire element in you, the metabolism and the combustion just in your body just stops, and the cold skin begins to appear as pale. Okay, your face is very, very pale. And what do you feel? What you feel is you begin to have a sensation of dissolution of borders. You begin to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. It's a process where you really feel that you're dissolving yourself, like you're completely light. Here, the air begin to disintegrate in ether. The exhalations here become longer than the inhalations. And you can see that when you are with a person that is dying, you can see that the breath becomes arrhythmic, without rhythm, and the exhalations become longer. There are more pauses, of course, between the between the breaths. And you can see that also you have been with a dying person. And it's more difficult to breathe. That is the reality, no? You're beginning to breathe your last breath. So the rails begin. And the rails are this, there was one meditation that I had to use the gong, and because of the Zoom, I couldn't give it to you. But there are some meditation that goes with the gong where you do the pranayama of railing, like that, because your breath becomes heavier. So the rails begin to happen, and it is because you begin to have difficulty of breathing. Okay. But when this happens, the sensation is of expansion. The exhalations are longer, the expansion begins. And yes, the breath begins to stop, yeah, little by little. But one of the things that still is there is the ear. Even though you begin to lose your sight and the feeling of touch of your skin and the taste and the smell, the last sense to go away from your body is your ear. And as you know, and with the people that have taken the teacher training, you know that we are made of sound. Om Namo, Om, the first manifested sound. The first unmanifested sound is Om. Om. The manifested sound is Om. And from the manifested sound, then comes creation. So we are made of sound. And that is why we use mantras in our technology to be able to rise the Kundalini through sound. Because with sound, you can return to the origin. It is sound that is allowed in whispering and in silence. At the end, you go in complete silence. But silence is silence is the language of the divine. Okay, so you vibrate the nad. So when you are dying, you have still the ability to listen to mantras, to listen to beloved ones. So it's very important that even though the person you think that is almost dead, you can still speak to the person. You can still guide that person. What we do in our tradition, and if we have time, I can talk about Babaji's death. But what we do in our tradition is to chant mantras, to chant the Kirtan Soila. The Kirtan Soila is the meditation that we read before we go to sleep, because it returns on us to the Mother Earth and keep us protected during the night. So what you do is that you can begin to chant the Kirtan Soila, so this person can go into a transition in peace. But if not, any mantra is good, any mantra, or just talk to the person and tell that person beautiful things to guide that person into the light, All right, so I have here a guided meditation for you. So once you understood what happens with each chakra, the earth, what happens when you go from earth to water, to fire, to air, and to ether. Now I want to do a guided meditation that it's a good exercise for you to do. And you can do it if you don't want every day, a few times during the week. So when the moment comes, you feel more comfortable. You have practiced how to die. So you can go in peace and consciously and happy and grateful that you have done what you came for, and it's time to leave because there is a reason to leave. And then you will be fine. So I will guide you through this meditation. So if you please go and lie down on your back. And bring, please, both hands, bring them onto your shoulders. Okay, like this, just cross them like the other one, but a little more. Instead of being in the heart chakra with the wrists crossed, here you will bring the hands up to the shoulders here, okay? And you will try to rest in this position on your back and really try to relax your body, to take a blanket so you feel really comfortable and be able to be guided through the meditation. Let me see if everybody is in the position. Go. Okay. Okay. So lie down and relax. Just check your body and check any part of your body that feels with any tension. And just inhale and exhale. And each time you exhale, try to relax that part more and more. More and more. Begin to check your feet. And begin to check each part of your legs. And relax and allow the legs to relax to the sides. So you don't have any tension in your hips. Allow the legs to feel heavy on the floor. And your butt too, all the part of your pelvis. Allow it to sink. And check your torso and your back. And feel the points of pressure of your back on the floor without changing anything. We're just now checking that we are completely relaxed. Check your shoulders. Check your chest. And check your arms. Check your fingers. Relax, relax. The forearms, the elbows, your arms. Relax your head. Feel the head heavy on the floor. You are not carrying it. The shoulders are completely loose. And check your face. The muscles of your forehead, they are relaxed. Mouth, your cheeks, your eyelids. And separate, before we begin, the lips of your mouth and separate the jaw. Separate the tongue from the palate. Just feel the mouth completely loose. And relax all your body. Again, feel that you're really sinking into the floor. Very heavy. Feel very heavy. And begin to breathe with the mouth and the nose at the same time, as if you were going to sleep, just to relax more and more. Okay, beautiful. So go deep and deep. Sink more. Feel heavier and heavier. And in a very compassionate way, just think in your life. Your journey has ended. You accomplished what you came here to live. You are dying. You are leaving. Feel, I am returning home. I am returning to my origin. There is light. Light. Everything is perfect. Everything is good. There is no pain. No more sweat. No more separation. I merge. I merge. There is joy. I'm going home. I'm going home to that communion. I return to whom I parted, to whom created me. I return to the ocean. I return to the one that gave me body, that gave me mind. I return to the one from whom everything is generated. I return to the one that gave me a soul to come to this world. I return to the one. Because of its grace, I have had this sensitive experience in which I met so many people, so many dreams and pleasant moments that caress my life in difficult times. All that duality, I am free of it. I am free. I am free. I am able to enjoy now all this freedom, this ecstasy. I am leaving slowly, gradually. I am conscious, conscious, completely conscious. All happiness is waiting. I feel united, immersed, hugged, immersed in ecstasy. I am leaving very relaxed, very relaxed, very relaxed. There is no anxiety. There is no strife. There is no pain. There is any difficulty. I am sliding, sliding, slowly, smiling into freedom, liberated. I have accomplished my work, my duty, my journey. I have lived my lesson. I am reaching my destiny, the end of any suffering, any weight. I feel lighter and lighter, without borders, no fear. This is the end of this scenario. I am merging with my Creator through His will in one unity. Repeat with me aloud. I am, 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 I feel lighter and lighter. I am merging. I am focused going through the passage of death. I am in transit through sound, mega sound, in a mega vibratory frequency. There is no fear. I'm expanding. I'm going through the passage of death to life. I am free. I am free. I am transiting. In silence, repeat with me. I am, 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 and slowly inhale and exhale. And stay there for a moment. God and soul are permanent, eternal. We are linked as we depart. It is true. We come and go. One day you will get to that phase. The body will become an eternal soul. We need to know the way in which we will part. We need to know the way that we have to go. We are the infinite ray of God. We need to be as God is. This is the way we can connect with Him, with our own divinity, connecting with each breath of life. With each breath, we can become pure. It is the divine law to become pure. So we can become and beam as rays of light. Our life we'll be more happy then. It can be that way. Our rhythm of life, each atom can vibrate that truth. That truth will be given to us forever. When we are real, we can expand, we can create. In this divine realm, we can become what we want to be. Satnam. Inhale and exhale, and slowly, slowly go and come sitting down again. And let's take a 5 minutes break to go to the restroom. I see you in 5 minutes. It's 11:15. I see you in 11:20. All right. Let's begin again. I think Danielle cannot hear me, maybe. Oh, no, yeah, there it is. There she is. I don't know, because you remember last time that you didn't hear me, you stay there.
My computer is fully battered. So thank you, Guru Amrit.
All right, so let's continue. I hope everybody's here. Let me see. Yeah. Well, some people I don't know, but hopefully they are there listening to me. Okay. So let's continue with the topic. So Kurudu. What is Kurudu? When the soul is ready to transition into another ether or into another space, we are talking about Kurudu. Okay? So Kurudu is really the time, the 30 seconds before you leave your physical body. The physical body dies and you die, no, physically. So the last 30 seconds is named Kurudu, and in this time, in the Kurudu, the different things happen. Okay, so the first 10 seconds of the Kurudu phase, what happens is that you see a precise panorama of your life. So all your life, you can see it from the beginning of the first breath, from the first breath up to the 5 breaths before you die. 5 breaths before you die. How is this possible? Because you can see this quote here. It says, you and life become one. Your consciousness, subconscious and supreme consciousness will merge for that time. So at that time, your subconscious, conscious, and supreme consciousness are one. So when you see the panorama of your life, it's not that you rationally want to see it, because it would be impossible. You don't even remember consciously some things. When you were lying down and I said to you, think about your life, where do I begin? You don't even have memories when you were 1 year old. Yeah? But what happens? Because the subconscious mind is working with the conscious and the supreme consciousness, you do remember. So it happens very fast, but it happens with this in a conscious way, not in a rational way. It is almost instantaneous, but it's all the panorama. And the main thing is, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? So there are 3 questions of this sensation. It's more like a sensation, okay? But this sensation, if you try to interpret it for us, it can be translated in 3 different questions, okay? One question is, why did you come? Why did you come to this world? Why? What was the reason? At that moment, you will know, because the supreme consciousness is working, right? So maybe you can die saying, I don't know what was the meaning of life. Maybe you can die very unconsciously, but at that moment, the supreme consciousness is there. At that moment, you know why you were alive. Okay? And what the destiny and the lessons that you had to live were there for you. And then the second question would be, what did you do? What did I do? Did I really accomplish my destiny? Did I really went to the lessons with the consciousness that I needed to be able to learn something? To really evolve in my consciousness? And you can ask me, hey, Guru Amrit, you said that the soul is already consciousness. It cannot evolve. That is right. What evolves is your mind. When your mind clouds the consciousness, when the mind does not allow the consciousness to project, then you can have lessons that life puts to you. So you have an open mind and use the mind as a ladder to live with more consciousness. So the grade of consciousness does develop. It is there already, but the mind is the one that blocks it. Yeah? The limitations of your mind, of your ego. So you come here to be able to use that mind to expand in such a way that your consciousness can project. In reality, meditation is the alignment of consciousness and mind. When the waves of the mind stop, then the consciousness can be experienced, the divinity in you. It has no limits. That is why it's so difficult to explain, right? Because every time you define something, you put a finite, a limit. How can you define what it has? It's not limit at all. It's impossible to define. But you can experience it. You can experience it. That is what we do when we meditate. We experience the supreme consciousness, the love consciousness. So after you ask yourself, what did you do? You ask then, how do I feel? Okay, how do I feel? What is my balance? What did I accomplish in this lifetime? And that is the first part, 10 seconds only. It goes really fast in our terms. But there, for the Supreme Consciousness, is completely enough to evaluate what is happening. So the next uh, 10 seconds is that you be able to tune in a higher vibration than your own karma. That is why mantra and Shabbats are so important. Mantras and Shabbats, if you practice them enough, or you practice meditation enough, you can relate to that state of stillness, happiness, consciousness, love, compassion, peace, detachment. That is what you want, to create that state of mind of a higher vibration, that with the practice of Kundalini yoga, the sound has made you vibrate in that frequency. So each tradition has their own way to go into that higher frequency. Ours mainly is the sound. So mantras and Shabbats are very important, but are you going to remember the mantra consciously at that time in your rationality to bring your memory? No, it must come automatically. So you need to practice a mantra so you can tune in through that frequency in the moment that you need it. Automatically, because you just can. It's a vibration that you go into. Okay? So why is this important? Because in these 10 seconds, the last judgment happens. The last judgment is not of some divinity that is transcendent from you that comes to judge you. No, you are divine. It is your own supreme consciousness, your own state of mind at that moment that will judge you, that will give you the final balance of your actions. So remember, normally in our daily life, the mind, I told you, is like an ether vibration. Yes, the mind is an ether vibration. And in our normal life, when we have any thought, for example, I have a thought of anger against a person, that thought, even though I don't make anything wrong to that person, only the thought has a repercussion in the ether, because thought is already a vibration of the ether. So mind is not only physical brain, it is this subtle energy that connects with the subtle energy of the Akashic records. So each breath, each exhalation of your life during your life has an imprint in the Akashic records. How conscious you breathe, how conscious you are. So you connect with the Akashic records each time you think, each time you vibrate. And if you vibrate in certain way, in a karmic way, it will have a repercussion. In our lifetime, anything that you think, it returns multiplied by 10, 7.5 years later. Doesn't matter what it is. It comes back. You create karma in this lifetime. You're not only burning karma for other lifetimes, but in this lifetime. And the ones that you couldn't finish burning this lifetime, if you haven't learned enough, you will return next lifetime to burn that karma. Good or bad karma. Both, because this is not a punishment. Karma is not punishment. Remember, karma is just the reaction of an action that comes to you in the same proportion that you should, if you had something, a vibration that where you really imprint in the Akashic records that you have to learn something about it, it will return multiplied by 10. 7.5 years later. So in the moment that you're dying, you don't want that, right? You want to send a vibration that doesn't create any karmic reaction. So the last judgment must be one where in that moment that you not control your mind, your vibration does. Your vibration does control your mind. So at that moment, you don't want to feel attached to you, you don't want to feel greedy, you don't want to feel angry, you don't want to feel afraid, you don't want to feel contracted. In that moment, you want to be expanded. In that moment, you want to feel detached, you want to tune in with a higher vibration, a spiritual vibration, to feel in peace, to feel ready to go, to feel grateful of having been able to live this lifetime that you have. So that is why the mantras and Shabbats are so important that we practice during our lifetime. So at the moment of death, we can connect with that vibration in automatic. One of the main things that we would like is that at the moment of death, as when we are alive, right? We always say in our spiritual path, don't judge without judgment, right? We all the time, we try to go beyond the duality of mind, good, bad. Yeah, no, go beyond that with compassion and being merciful with yourself. So if at the moment of death, you can go beyond that judgment, even, then you will be able to go to the higher ethers. And you will see what I'm talking about right now. But what I want to say is that Yogi Bhajan did give us the mantras and Shabbats that are more they are more how do you say are more suitable for this moment. Okay, and one of these are sorry. One of these is the Pran Sutra. The Pran Sutra. The Pran Sutra are the four last lines of this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. This is a complete line, okay? This is Nanaka tu, Lena tu Hey, Guru Amar tu Vicharya, Guru Dita Tanman Sadarya, Dandan Ramdas Guru, Jinesiria Tinne Savarya. I will repeat it. Nanaka tu, Lena tu Hey, Guru Amar tu Vicharya, Guru Dita Tanmana Sadarya, Dandan Ramdas Guru, Jinesiria Tine Savarya. So what I want you to do is just chant it. So I will share it with you right now. And just, if you need to read it, it's fine. Try to chant it aloud with the music. And begin. Is the volume okay? Yeah.
नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सहारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है गुर अमर तू विचारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सवारिया तन तन रामदास गुर जिन सिरिया तिने सवारिया नानक तू लहना तू
With this same melody, just repeat it, chanting also Guru Dita Tanmana Sadarya. So continue chanting Nanakatu Lena tu he Guru Amar tu Vicharya Nanakatu Lena tu he Guru Ditta Tanmana Sadarya. And then the Dan Ramdas Guru Jinisiriya Tina Savarya. Just chant it on your own pace, repeating this line, and then this line, and then this line, and then this line, and then this two. Okay? Just chant it again and again because the recording doesn't have this line and it must be there. Okay. Continue chanting. And inhale. And exhale. So this is the Pran Sutra that Yogi Bhajan gave to us. And if you chant the Dana Dana, remember that the Dana Dana Ramdas Guru is a Shabbat of not only ecstasy, but where you connect with the energy of Guru Ramdas. Remember that Kundalini Yoga is related to the house of Guru Ramdas, and not only that, it's in our tradition the main energy to connect in the Aquarian age. So these last lines of that Shabbat will be easy to vibrate because the Dhananana is very common to chant when you are in any situation where you need a miracle. It can be health, it can be just the opening of opportunities. You always chant the Dana Dana, right? And for protection even. So it is one part of our life. So when it becomes part of our lives, then it will be not difficult to vibrate with this Pran Sutra. But of course, there are other mantras that are more easier for you. For example, the Waheguru. Waheguru is a mantra that you can vibrate with it, or the Satnam, or the Guru Ramdas, or one line of any Shabbat, the Supurk, and any other that you know, or the mantra Ekunkar. Okay? So any of these mantras are okay. So if you vibrate in that frequency, you are fine. And one mantra that was given to us is the Har Waheguru Har Satnam. And that mantra is to get rid of pain when dying. Har Waheguru Har Satnam. We don't practice it a lot in the meditation. So if you want to write it down, just have it in mind because it can help you also. Okay, let's continue. The last 10 seconds, of those Kururu time, yeah? That is the time in this last 10 seconds when the breath will leave you, okay? So the power of the mind is a moment that directs the soul, depending of the last breath. Yes, in those 10 seconds, that breath will give a imprint into the aura that it's still there with the last prana that is there. And it will serve you like a passport. Yes, this imprint, this last breath, the quality of this last breath will give the quality in how you will be able to leave the earth. So that is why it's so important. If you are tuned in with this high vibration, your last breath will have that imprint, that quality. So what happens then is that the soul disconnects from the sensitive existence. So the chakras, just all the chakras dissolve with it, all the tattvas, even the ether one, and the pranic body leaves completely. When the pranic body leaves and the arc line and aura neutralizes, so the pranic body can't return anymore to your body. When your arc line and aura are still working, then the pranic body can return. But in that, for example, have you seen those yogis that don't breathe for a long time? Yeah, they're not breathing at all. They can stay even 3. I know that some of you are skeptic about it, but it's true. They can even, like Guru Nanak, for 3 days, he was underwater. So why? Because the pranic body can leave, but the arc line and the aura are still working. So when he comes out, the pranic body can return to the body. Everything is good. But here, when they neutralize, the pranic body cannot, it leaves, all the breaths are consumed. That means all the breaths are consumed. So there is no breaths for you. If you had a natural death or even an accident, I will go through that in a moment. So the three minds go to the mind, to the ether, and the body will disintegrate to the earth. So when the soul disconnects with a sensitive existence, one of the things that we do is that we, in our tradition, we burn the body. So in the moment that it dies, we try to cremate the body. Okay, and I will tell you why in a moment. But the body returns to earth. The minds return, the three minds, the functional minds return to ether. The pranic body is consumed. The arc-line aura are neutralized. The pranic body leaves. And we have three more bodies of the 10th bodies: the radiant body, the subtle body, and the soul body. Remember, we have 10 bodies. From those three bodies, what happens? The subtle body will survive death and will encapsulate the soul. Remember that the subtle body still works in the subtle body. The universal mind is still there. It's not a personal mind. You have no brain anymore. But the subtle body is intelligent, and it surrounds the soul that is conscious. And the radiance, if you have been a spiritual person, if you have the radiance enough, the radiant body will survive with you. If not, it will go, the radiancy, it will just stop with the aura, okay? Now, the subtle body carries the karmic records, the last balance of the human existence. Why? Because in the last breath, when you imprint the aura and the aura neutralizes, it is the subtle body that carries that imprint, that last imprint of your human existence. When that karmic record, it will carry to the karmic records. I will go through to that right now. But what the subtle body does is that encapsulates the soul with the information of your last judgment, of the balance that you have to learn, okay, with the last imprint of your breath. So that imprint goes into the subtle body, encapsulates the soul, and will take it to the memory of the universe, to the karmic records, okay, to be read, okay? So that last balance of the human existence and what the soul needs to keep learning or have achieved is kept, okay? Even though you die. So before leaving the earth, you experience a tunnel. Light calls you, and depending on your passport, on the imprint that I have talked about, the power of the soul's impulse to cross the sound barrier and leave the electromagnetic field of the earth. Yes, your frequency must be very strong to be able to cross even the sound barrier, to go into the ethers. So that is what we say when here says the Pran Sutra rhythm. Yeah, when you have this rhythm of the Pran Sutra, then you are able to do that, okay? This is the frequency that we need of this Pran Sutra. The soul, when you experience this tunnel, is called into a warm, crowded place that is the second ether, or a peaceful winter landscape that is the third ether. What I mean is that when you are crossing, you feel that there is this place that calls you, that is attracting, where it's very knowable. It's a place where you feel like if you were with a lot of people in places that you have been to, a very earthly, like a place where that you already know, that you are related to. So that place will attract you, or another place can attract you that is a very like winter landscape, very peaceful, very white, very tranquil. And those places will be there, and you will decide to which one you are going to be more attracted. But before you go to those places, for 4 days, your body that dies, this thing. For 4 days, your soul will be still in the earth, because the subtle body clings to the corpse, to the cadaver, to the corpse. So the subtle body still cling to it, and so the soul can visit people and places before continuing the journey. That is why sometimes, I don't know if you have experienced some of these things, but I did with my mom, on those days, people that you love that die maybe are trying to connect with you. So weird things happens in your house. Maybe you can have a vision, you can smell how they smelled before they died, or maybe you can listen to her voice, or just weird things happen. In my case, for example, with my mom, she used to turn on the lights in the house. Even the shower, one of the showers was suddenly opened, in full. And at the end, when she left, I think she did, because I have never seen that. A golden neck, medalla, I don't know what it says in English, like round thing, gold thing, with her name of the Virgin Carmen, del Carmen, because she was Carmen, and the opposite side with her name. And the day, it was very funny. The date was written behind the medal with her name, because it was a medal that her father bought her after she had the death experience, and she survived. So the date was there. I have never seen that medal before that day. She has never shown it to me, and it appeared in my house. I don't know how. It appeared in the floor of the bathroom, and in those days. So weird things happen to some people when the souls are saying farewell before they go. So after those 4 days, and during the next 17 days, is a time where the physical body begins to disintegrate. You cremate, of course, as fast as you want or can, the physical body, so the subtle body cannot cling to the corpse anymore, and the soul can leave. And after 17 days is the time that normally the soul can go into the ethers. So there are ways that different kinds of traditions help the souls to go through the electromagnetic field of the earth. The Catholics give masses to the souls, so they help them to leave. The Jews, they chant, I think, for 8 days. We give a little more time. We give 17 days, but 1 and 7 is 8, the same amount as the Jews in numerological terms. But it is and I don't know how many masses do the Catholics give to the souls, 4 or 8 masses, I don't know. But the different traditions help people with a spiritual gathering of the family and friends, and the energy of bringing together a higher frequency to help that soul to leave the electromagnetic field of the earth. So for us is, as I said, 17 days. So loved ones in our tradition, at least 5%, the best, the punch, can go and chant the Akaal. The Akaal mantra is the one that we repeat every morning. If you have joined us in the early morning meditation at 6 a.m., you can see that we are chanting now Akaal. So how do you chant it? Is inhale, and you pronounce Akaal. Akaal. Like that. So you chant the Akaal, the immortality mantra, with a long at the end. And you do it for 31 minutes to help the souls to leave the planet Earth. And you can do it for 40 days. You can do it for 17 days. It's better to do it for 40 days. Okay? The souls that cannot leave at that time because of their frequency, maybe they are attached even to treasures or material things. They are people that are attracted to their belongings. It's true. And there was a case that Babaji was in. One person asked him to clean a house, and he went to the house to clean it, and he felt the energy very, very, very dense, and even appearance of a ghost. And they began to look for something in the house, and they found money, a lot of money. And when they gave the money to the family, the soul left. No more ghosts in the house, and they could live happily in the house after that. So there are people that cling to material things, or they cling to secrets in the family, or to people, or they don't want to live the life. That's all. And if they don't go and pass the electromagnetic field of the earth, they stay as ghosts. But we, or any tradition that comes together and go into a meditative state, it can be in our tradition during sadhana and white tantric, when we clean so much garbage, and we create this beautiful energy, then the souls, the ghosts, can really go, and we give them a push, to leave the earth. So souls that can't leave because of earthly attachments, with our guidance, they will go. And the souls that do leave, they, as I said, are encapsulated in their subtle bodies to go into the ethers.
Question?
Yes. Yes.
Can you comment just a little bit of the souls that have transitioned during this time, these COVID times?
Well, what we are doing exactly is that this is a lot of dense energy right now because of so many deaths in the planet. And people that are dying right now, they need a little push. A lot of them are dying alone in the hospitals. And that is why we, in the early morning, we are chanting for them the Akaal at least 3 times, all of us, to help them transit. Because yes, they need a push. Not all of them knew that they were going to die. So yes, they need a lot of chanting and prayer and our vibration to help them transit. Yes. So this meditation on pranic energy to leave the earth, because of the time, I will do it only 3 minutes with you, so you know how to do it. It's a meditation on pranic energy to leave the earth. So please sit down in easy pose. If you want to sit on a chair, sit on a chair, and go into the mudra. The mudra is in prayer pose, and you can look at me in prayer pose, but only the fingertips are touching. Yeah, you can see. And these thumbs are together, bent to the palms and touching the mercury mounts. Okay, put them together in prayer. Okay, the base is of the palms are touching. You're in this position, but together. Bring the elbows to a parallel position, on your heart chakra. The eyes are 1/10 open, looking at the tip of the nose. You will begin to inhale in 8 strokes, like that, 8 times, and 1 exhalation almost in whistling. Not exactly, but almost. Okay? So 8 times through the nose, and in 1 exhalation through the mouth, almost whistling. And I will chant the Ong 8 times so you can inhale, and then I will allow you time to exhale. All right? So we will do it only for 3 minutes. Come into position. Ready? Close your eyes. 1/10 open, looking at the tip of the nose. And begin. Om, 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 om. 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 Inhale. Hold your breath in. Apply Mulband. Seal the meditation. And exhale. And relax. This meditation helps you to go into the ethers. So what are the ethers? The ethers is only another space. The soul goes into another space. It's like you are in the same house, but in another room, okay? So the soul and the subtle body goes to the blue ethers. The first ether is Kartapurk. That is the name. So the first ether are the Akashic records, is the memory, the universal memory of all actions. So people that can go to the past or to the future, they can access this realm. That is why they can tell you what your future or your past was about. Here in this ether, the subtle body arrives with the soul, and the purification of the soul begins. What happens is that, remember that the subtle body has information of the balance of the last judgment of the soul, that the soul did of the life that she experienced. So this information synchronizes with the one that is registered already in the memory of the ether of other past lifetimes, and how the soul did during that time, and the judgment of their own soul. So synchronizes the information and keeps it recorded in this ether. Okay, so it will stay there. So if the soul returns to the earth again, or to another dimension and reincarnates as another being, this information is kept there. Okay, and this is the first ether, like the memory where the information is kept. So the soul is now ready to continue the journey to the second ether. So when you go to the second ether, the name is Sopurk. And here the subtle body continues the journey with the soul to be purified. In this realm, the soul is guided to go through her karmic balance, and most of the process that in the second ether, the soul experience is related to the past lifetime, the life that she just lived, okay, to that time and space. There are tests and different kinds of purification related to the last karma. So this soul will stay there, and most of the processes are long, but they stay there until they acquire the consistency, higher frequency of grade of consciousness to be able to continue the journey. So the purification in this ether is important. And the soul is tested in different ways, but all related to the life that just finished. The lessons related to that time and space. After that, the subtle body encapsulating the soul goes to the third ether. The third ether, the subtle body continues with the soul to be liberated from tests of time and space. So in this ether, the purifications continue, but in a very, very subtle way. So what I mean is that the soul focuses beyond its lifetime, past lifetime, to more universal matters. It's a space of service to other souls, okay, in their own journeys, in a subtle way, and more universal way. And here, depending on the purity that the soul acquired, the soul can go to the fourth ether, or it will return with a subtle body to the planet Earth or to other dimensions. So there are other beings in other planets, not with physical bodies, but there is life in the universe and in other dimensions. And the reincarnation is not only of a body, a physical body, but you can go to other dimensions. So depending on what happens here in the third body, the conditions are decided. If you return to the earth, what happens is that after the lessons in the third ether, the soul that doesn't pass to the fourth ether goes into the Akashic records again, to the first ether, remember, where everything is recorded. So the information is there. And now, after the purification, again, there is a synchronization of information. So the Akashic records have the new information because the soul now has more purity. So whatever is left that needs to be learned, the Akashic records has it there and records it. The subtle body also has that knowledge, that information in it. Remember that it's intelligent. And the soul will be then have the conditions in elementary predestined, the destiny predestined, you pronounce like that? Yeah, predestined. So the conditions are established. The longitude and latitude, it is wrong written, latitude, the conditions, what country, in what aspects, what events the soul will live, what parents this or family will be born, will this soul born in, everything will be established. So the first 7 years really are very, very determined, very, very determined. So because the 7 years is the first cycle of consciousness that is it is accomplished. So in these 7 years, you live what you have to live. After that, you have the consciousness to begin to use your free will. So you can change your destiny in about 30 to 40%. You have the possibility to change your destiny. So you can use your free will, and the destiny begins to switch a little bit what you have to live. If, for example, if you have a spiritual practice, you can burn karma more rapidly, right? You can begin to learn more rapidly. If you have a spiritual teacher, that spiritual teacher will give you lessons without having to go through life and live all that suffering stuff, so you can learn something. So the spiritual teacher can burn that for you with things that are tough, but faster for you. That is why to have spiritual teacher is important. And the subtle body saves the karmic balance, good and bad, and involves the soul to go to the earth and do and live what I have talked about now. Okay, so let's now think that from the third ether, the soul went to the fourth ether. Okay, not to reincarnate again. It continued the journey. So in the fourth ether, this subtle body travels again, involving the soul, but this space is of higher and radiant souls. Here is a very pure ether, and the subtle body only works like a membrane between the finite and infinite realms. But really, in the fourth ether, the souls are very pure, and they don't need to reincarnate again. But the subtle body is still there, because maybe it will be needed. When? Because you can reincarnate only by the will of the divine, not because you need to learn something else. You are already pure. Okay, you are beyond identities, above attachments, but maybe you want, with the will of God and your will, to reincarnate to the earth and help others. So the big spiritual master, the great spiritual masters, are the ones that come to the earth and reincarnate to help us. Okay, to grow. So, what are the types of souls that reincarnate? Well, one of the souls are the elementary souls. The elementary souls or elemental souls are the ones that are those masters or very high frequency souls with a lot of consciousness and love to help others grow, okay? And they are surrounded by other souls, and they guide them. Those souls are the complementary souls. The complementary souls are guided by the elementary souls and orbit around their frequencies. So normally they can be, for example, elementary souls can be spiritual teachers, or maybe the spiritual teacher can be a mother, or very good persons, even a vagabond that has a higher frequency and goes there to work on the souls that are living a very difficult karma. But they are leaving that because they are ready to burn the last karma and go to the fourth ether. You never know. So complementary souls orbit around the elementary souls to be able to be free. And the supplementary souls are not ready yet, but they connect with the complementary souls, knowingly or not knowingly, supporting and assisting the other souls to evolve. Supplementary souls can be maybe someone in your life that puts you in test and you suffered a lot because of this soul. But maybe this soul was a supplementary soul for you. It was a teacher at the end. It taught you something important. So those can be the supplementary souls that they don't even know that they are helping, but they are helping. So the fifth ether. The fifth ether is the Brahm. In the fifth ether, we live the union with the divine. The soul merges with the one. So the subtle body stays behind. No need of the subtle body. In the infinite consciousness, you are in the ocean, you're a drop, and you become one with the ocean. You are pure love, pure consciousness. And the 10 gurus are here in one light, and they can connect with us through their radiant bodies in the vital flow of your meditations, or with the subtle bodies that stayed in the fourth ether, and they can work through us, through the meditations, through dreams, intuition, visions, fusions of love that you feel, but they are connected with you. So I had here another meditation to go into the higher level of ethers, but we don't have time. So we will go on. If you want, take a picture of this. I can put it in 75% so you can read it better. Just take a picture. So if you want to practice it, it's a meditation to go through death into the higher level of ether. So I leave it there for a moment so you can take a picture. And if you need it, I can send it to you later. Okay, beautiful. Then the kind of deaths. So the death, we will go and see the different kind of deaths. We have, for example, the death of a baby or a child. Those are the most difficult to accept because they are so innocent and beautiful, and they die very young, and some of them, and not knowing how, they just die suddenly during the night. And one of the things that those souls, they just almost finishes their karma, and their purpose to come here is more related to others than to themselves. Some of them, they even sacrifice and come here to die because they want to help others, maybe most of the times the family members, to grow, and they are ready to go. They don't need to burn any karma in that incarnation. And the Trivani mantra was given by Guru Gobind Singh to stop the action of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. It has the effect to dispel the death of a child. And by this, I mean when a child is sick, okay? And the mantra is Nirbo Sat Siri, Nirbo Akal Siri, Nirbo Siri Atma, Nirbo Paratma. Okay? So this mantra can be repeated when a child is sick and you want to help the child to survive a sickness. The accidental death. When death is unexpected and sudden, and the soul does not have time to prepare to part and leave the electromagnetic field of the earth. A young person that I don't hope, no, it's a car accident or a plane accident or something sudden. There are karmic reasons for that accident because the lessons that that soul need to live cannot be lived in that body in that time and circumstances. It must be transferred immediately to another body. So that is why instead of going through the ethers, that soul doesn't go away from the electromagnetic field of the earth, but is transferred in the next 24 hours to a pregnant woman. And they continue their karma in that circumstance and body. There are around 25,000 souls per square meter waiting to reincarnate. Remember that for the accidents, we have this beautiful mantra, Ad Guru Name, Yugat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siri Guru Dev Name. You repeat it one time before you turn on your car, and you say it with a Wahe Guruji Ka Khalsa, Wahe Guruji Ki Fateh at the end. So you said Ad Guru Name, Yugat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siri Guru Dev Name, Wahe Guruji Ka Khalsa, Wahe Guruji Ki Fateh. So that allows you to avoid death in an accident. It's a protection mantra. The karmic death. The karmic death is the natural death. The amounts of breaths that the pranic body have for you are consumed. And how to die is as important as how you lived. You know that the cycles of life and death continues until the soul evolves. So I told you we have free will in a 30 to 40% that we can use with our neutral mind to be able to connect more and more to our higher selves and live with awareness. We have the chance to be liberated by grace, but also with the merit of what we do and how we live our lives. We can change our destiny and even the type of death and the time of death. So with a spiritual practice, we can acquire that. Reincarnation, as I told you, can happen in other planes. So the Akaal Siri Akaal chant, when you want to also help your family to not die in young age, that mantra that we chant is also good. And normally it was given to women to dispel death in the family and bless the family. But of course, if you are a single parent, you can, a man, father, you can chant it too. Suicide. So suicide is a little more difficult kind of death because we are given an amount of breaths during our lifetime, okay? And when you breathe all those breaths, you die in a normal, natural way. But what happens with the suicide? The physical body dies, but the pranic body is not consumed. You just still had a lot of breaths to live, and you didn't use them. So what happens is that the settled body cannot continue the journey with the soul because the prana is there, the life force is there. So it doesn't allow the soul to go anywhere. So the soul stays in a limbo. The life was interrupted and the energy can't be used. So that happens, but we can, the soul can be helped by us, but people that chant and vibrate in higher frequency, so we can help also those souls to go. It is harder though, because the soul can't leave the electromagnetic field of the earth. And it is possible that they begin the reincarnation of 8.4 million lives or ways of existence, because they can begin being like a bacteria in the ocean and begin all the cycles again to acquire at last a human existence. And we can help those souls by chanting the Akaal 31 minutes or the Peace Lagoon for 40 days. So that is a way to help those souls of families with our practice. So we finish now. There are spiritual masters of avatars from the fifth ether that can come to earth to help other souls to evolve. They appear once in a lifetime. They come to sacrifice for others, and they go at will. And they show us, they teach us how to also live as Jivan Mukta, death but alive. They teach us how to get rid of our egos, so our egomaniatic attitudes die, so we can experience our souls and our divinity, but in a physical body, in ecstasy, and by living by the will of the divine, of God. They are enlightened beings with a higher consciousness, compassionate and willing to serve others. And to be spiritual teacher is that what we want to do and to attain. And we want to sacrifice our ego in living grace without doubt and happy. So this is the workshop about death. And if any of you, it's time to go, but if any of you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm here. So. Any questions? Yes, Diana. Bhakti, I'm here.
Thank you, Guru Amaranth. It's really good.
Question: when someone is killed?
Yes, he killed can be an accident also. Counted like an accident, a sudden death, boom, okay? But it can be also something of the other person that is committing by free will, or reacting. It's not free will really, but reacting and killing. And it can happen that you were wrong not in the longitude and latitude, in the wrong moment. So it is true that when, for example, you use your intuition and it says to you, don't go to the gas station this late. Don't go right now. Better tomorrow. Or go to another gas station. And you have this intention to not go there. And you spare death. You can spare death by intuition. And you can change your destiny by being killed by a gun, no? But also it can happen that you shouldn't have died there by a gun, right? So that what must happen is that immediately the big computer just transfers you to another body that is similar to the conditions that you still have to live to be able to continue your journey. If it was predestined, then at that moment it was predestined that you were going to die with that gunshot. And you can see sometimes that people, for example, have 10 gunshots and they don't die. You say, how can this be? They still have so much prana, they don't die. And one person has a gunshot in the shoulder and dies. You say, how? Why? It was something easy to solve and that person died. So it depends if it was predestined or not. But remember, time and space is like a huge computer that is synchronizing the information all the time, because there is a percentage of free will where you can change your destiny. And once you change your destiny, you have a repercussion in all the theater, the scene, right? Not so much to change what you have to live in general, but you are changing in such a way that you can evolve faster. But all the things at the same time, because everything is related to everything, it is moving all the time. The information is actualizing itself. It's like a huge computer. It's actualizing itself all the time. It was there even a time when there was this a young guy that was in the first years when Yogi Bhajan came into the West, that was the first of the students to be inspired with the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. And Babaji was there, and that is why I'm telling you this story. Babaji was with the master when the news came that this young man that was taking care of the Guru, he was the grantee of the Guru. He had so much devotion. He was such a pure boy. Suddenly had a car accident. And Babaji was there. And Yogi Bhajan said aloud, how could this happen? That was not his destiny. Okay? So yes, sometimes things change, and what we have to live just must happen, because the information is adjusting. Everything is connected with everything. That is why some of the prophecies are not so exact. For example, in a lot of the traditions, it is said that the Aquarian age must be already here, and it is late. You feel it. We are transitioning and transitioning. Look at this year. We're still transitioning to the Aquarian age. What is happening? What is taking so long? Who is responsible? We are. We have to go and transition the portal. If we don't make it, we will not make it. It's up to us also. Okay, so yes, some of the deaths are predestined, some others are because this is happening all the time, as far as I understand it. But always it goes into balance. Nothing happens without a reason. There are no coincidences. If it happens, it is because you're serving a higher purpose of the design of the universe.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned about the accidental death.
What?
Like accident death, right? Just like that young man. It was very unfortunate. It wasn't his destiny, but he was killed. You did mention in your one of the slide is within 24 hours, and there's pregnancy, and that's where that soul, I guess, would be incarnated in a baby. But you also mentioned there's so many, I guess, waiting to be reincarnated. So but is that true then? Every death, especially if that person is not destined to die, who is a really good person, so is he so well reincarnated in a baby? I just want to know because I have some personal experience. I try to make sense of it. And
yeah, remember something, death is not a punishment.
I know. It's not a punishment, but it's almost the way. Well, I know I was wrong, but it's punishing people who still alive.
Look, Daniel, death is a celebration. Death is a celebration. You just finished your lessons to go beyond them, to a better place of learning or of being. So death in our tradition is a celebration to life. And how Babaji died is an example. I will not go now through it because I want to answer your question, but it's a celebration. So not because that person was good, was not fair or his destiny to die. On the contrary, maybe because he or she was good, it was time to go.
I know.
So he finished or she finished what he or she came to live. So that is not the way to think. That is our mind believing. But there is a reason that maybe we don't understand. For example, I told you, if you cannot understand an accident, imagine if a baby dies. How can you understand that? That is more difficult to understand. A pure baby dies from in the cunita, in their crib. Not even with. I have a friend. She put the baby to sleep. The next morning, he was gone. 2-year-old, perfectly healthy, gone. How can you explain that? Yeah, but if you allow to surrender and believe that there is a higher purpose, and if you have these experiences in your meditation that you know there is something beyond, that is so overwhelming that you cannot grasp, but it is there. For example, I don't know, but I have had this experience, and that happened to me yesterday. I was in meditation, and suddenly this energy begins to just be there, vibrating. I can listen to it, I can feel it. It's so huge that you are in love and at the same time scared, because you can believe that there's something so huge that is in you and transcendent at the same time. When you have these experiences and you know that there is that powerful energy keeping you alive, you can surrender to it, that this energy knows to do the job of you dying and of you transitioning to something better. So this energy is love. It will not punish you with death. So how you die is related to how you live. Yes, it's true. But that depends on your karma that you bring to yourself. You always are the responsible one. There is no one beyond you. That is why you do your last judgment, anybody else. That is why you burn your own karma. Nobody can clean your thing.
Exactly.
You are the only one that clean your actions. Mm-hmm. So maybe that death was something that was the best. So just surrender and as I told you, do you love that person enough? Mm-hmm. Love the temporality, the possibility that that person will die? I know it's easy to say. We all have lost loved ones. Well, not, I don't know. Some of you maybe not, and thank God you don't. You didn't have suffered. I have suffered different deaths of different people, and it's always hard. But once you surrender and you accept it, uh, and you feel that you can live, because this is not a course for grieving. We can do something about that because there is so much suffering in the world right now. But one of the things that I have feel is that people cling to their pain because they feel that is a loyal way to live after someone dies.
Yeah,
Suffer, so I need to suffer, so this is my loyalty to you. I will always suffer.
Sometimes that feels real when you still feel the pain and you are so afraid if you no longer feel the pain, that person's really going to be gone.
Yeah, but if you begin to focus more on what that person gave you in your life, so each person changes you in one way or another. When we are connected with other people, we change. And if you know how to or to be aware of the relationship, it doesn't matter if that person makes you something that is not good. You will take it as something, as a blessing. So all people gives you something good.
Yeah,
So,
only you focus on what you had, right?
stay with the beauty of what you lived.
Yeah.
Not of what is not there anymore. That is the only thing that I can tell you.
Yeah.
It's good to go through the pain. Any other questions?
Thank you. I have a question. Who's the portrait behind you? I've been keep looking at it.
I'm sorry. Oh, this is I don't know. It's an Italian lady that my sister painted and gave it to me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
First, thank you so much for the class. So the question that I have is regarding accidents. Like you mentioned, people have this premonition before they died, and all these things that happened before. Would people who have accidents have that, the ones who died? And the other thing that I wanted just to share, that when I was about 18 years old, I had, like a trip planned with my girlfriends, and it was the first time I was driving like 5 hours away from the city. And 7 days approximately before I had the car accident, I had this really strong compression of my chest and heart, like if, like something really like tight in my chest that kept just getting worse and worse. So when I was about to leave the city with my two friends, I just share with them, like I have this really like a strong feeling in my chest. I don't know what it is, but let's just pray before we leave to this place. Okay, yes. So anyway, so we started driving, we pray, and about halfway of the trip, we stopped in the gas station to put gas. And I told my friend, let's, there was another car, let's move this mattress that it was rolled into the back seat of my car because the other car was too full. We did that. So my friend in the back had this mattress in the other side next to her. I don't know if you can picture it. So we continue the trip, and some of these highways are very dangerous. The curves are wrong, the level wrong. And it was just, I was not an experienced driver. So in one of the curves, I slid, went towards a rock, my car flipped over. For a while, it was just going down, and of course the windshield broke, all the little pieces went into my face. It was horrible, a horrible accident. My friend in the back got saved because of that mattress, because the side that the car flipped over was on that side, and she said that it cushioned her. So at the end, people rescued us because we couldn't even get out of the car. It was a really bad accident. So it was one of those experiences that I thought, to me, it was a very close death experience. I felt I was very close to death, and I had the premonition. So I don't know if it meant that I was supposed to, like, what does it mean, that experience, like that
Well,
I was supposed to die and it didn't happen. It was a premonition that it could have happened. It could have been one of those 5 death experience.
Yeah, 4 of them. The death visited you 1 time. those are the times that death visits you. Yeah. 4 times, the 5th, boom, you go.
Oh yes, it's gone.
Yeah. I had a very similar experience. Yeah. Sometimes death visits us.
Yeah, so for instance, like this family member of my husband's just recently, couple of months ago or less than 2 months ago, died in Mexico City. He is married to my husband's cousin. They both were living in Mexico City, and he had a sudden car accident, very young person. So my husband was telling me, like, Miguel, like, oh, how come, he could have predicted this, have the premonition? Could that be the case? Like, even though, like, somebody dies, that person will still have that feeling of being close to death?
Yeah, they do. It can be a sensation, and they don't really know what is happening. As I told you, this friend of ours that just came to say goodbye, he visited us. Maybe he didn't know that he knew that he was dying, but he knew that he wanted to see the person that he loved because he was saying her farewell. Or, for example, I have my old man that he was an atheist, and one day I came to visit him, and he began to ask questions about my tradition in relation to afterlife. Why is he asking all these questions? He had never done that, and he died a few months later. So yeah, in different ways you have the Saddam, the premonition in that way. Yeah.
Quick question. Oh, may I ask a quick question? When you say there's, death visits us 4 times, would we actually be cognizant of those 4 times, 4 or 5 times?
No, some people, as Kathy is telling that story, those times are very, very obvious. Others not. Maybe it's just like here, I don't know, as the storm that you just almost could have killed you, and it didn't because of something. But it happens 4 times, consciously or unconsciously. It comes almost to the time that you could have died. Yeah. Yes, Bhakti.
The mantra to avoid pain,
yeah,
is pain for person that is dying, pain for
when you die, there can be pain because the organs are shutting down. So to avoid that, you can practice that mantra and chant it. Of course, this is for a death that is a natural death, and you can begin to chant it if you are sick and you feel that the time is coming. You begin to chant it or listen to it and practice it. Yes. Anything else?
Oh, the sources of the information you gather, like the 25,000 souls, all these things, where are your sources? I'm just curious.
All sources are Yogi Bhajan's lectures that are written in different places. And during my lifetime, I have read a lot of lessons, listened to videos. I don't have some of the sources because back then I didn't think that I was going to need them. I just write the notes in my book, and now I use them. But they are from Yogi Bhajan's lessons. Everything that is here. And there is a very beautiful book that Hargopal Kaur, you know Hargopal, the lady that came to the last tantric, Hazel, you remember? Is Hargopal Kaur. Hargopal Kaur wrote, not wrote, published a book only about death, but she doesn't write anything. All the book is, she put together all the quotes of different lectures of Yogi Bhajan about death. And she tried to put them together in such a way that makes sense in a linear way. It is amazing what the job that she did. Only with the words of Yogi Bhajan with quotes. And those are, their sources are there, all the sources. So if you need sources about this topic, Hargopal's book is very good. I don't know if specifically she talks about this 25,000 times. I don't remember that she says that, but I did read it in another lecture. I don't know. But yeah. Anything else? All right, beautiful. So let's close the class with...
Last question, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
So for the people that have accidents, that you say that sure enough, 24 hours later, they are going to a pregnant woman, but some people, their family members, let's say they try to connect with that soul through these mediums, and they apparently do connect. Will that be just a fake thing then? If somebody's trying to connect with a soul that die in those circumstances, and based on what you're saying, we're supposed to have already incarnated, you cannot communicate with that soul.
I cannot respond to that. I am just telling what I read, because I have never died. I don't know. But it looks like the idea is that you need to reincarnate in another body the fast as you can, because you will not go out of the ether. So if by any chance, that is my belief, it doesn't say in anywhere else, if that is the situation, I don't think that you can connect with us, that soul, later on. I don't think that soul clings in as a ghost, because it's not like someone that has to stay here. It stays because it has to be transferred, not because you commit suicide or you didn't have the frequency to go out of the ether. That is not the reason. So by accident, and it was predetermined by accident, it must be transferred. Remember other thing, in reincarnations, you can be reincarnated not only as human beings, okay? Normally in an accident, you incarnate in another woman. Yeah, that is a transfer. In another souls that reincarnate, they can reincarnate even in animals again. Okay?
Okay.
For example, the example that I have is one of the worst karmas is when spiritual teachers take advantage of their students. Okay, that is the worst of the karmas.
And I just want to say something very quick. So when my cousin's husband passed away due to the aneurysm that made him have like a brain attack. Anyway, so when he passed, this other lady medium who communicates with ghost souls, she said she could not connect, like 4 or 5 days. She could not connect with him. Like it looked like he was literally being taken out of this realm. And that's what she said. And she usually can connect. One thing that happened, that he decided to donate all his organs to people. So yeah, I guess he was ready. He was ready to live. And
one of the things about giving your organs that is very beautiful is that you will the subtle body can cling to still to those organs that are alive. You need a lot of power to be able to go out of the world if your body is not your physical body is not integrated to the earth element. That is in our tradition. So, but if they, because of the intention is so good to want to make another person live, that gives you a high frequency to be able to go out of the earth, even though the body is not integrated to the earth completely, because the reason, the intention was beautiful. For example, there is another, and I will be very quick, I know it's very late. There was this boy that commits suicide to save his father from a gang mafia that wanted to kill him through him. So before they could contact the father through him, he killed himself to save the father. So that kind of suicides, the frequency is completely different, so high, because he gave his life for his father. So that allows the soul to be so powerful that it can continue the journey. Okay, so there are from suicides to suicide. I don't know exactly what happened with that death, but the death from an aneurysm is a natural death. It's not an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go. It is 1 o'clock, and we will say bye with 3 satnams. So put your hands together. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale to close. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you learned something, and some of the meditations you will be able to practice or help others. We are living in very difficult times, and we can help a lot. So thank you, Jeez, and I see you soon.
Thank you very much for a very inspiring class.
Thank you. Satnam, thank you.
Are your slides available? Will it be
Oh,
possible?
of course, I can ask. I don't know how to do it, but I can ask Sarah or Bhakti to help me to send them to, or put them maybe in the web page. I don't know.
I can send the slides and the recording to all the participants.
Okay, perfect. The recording.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Guru Emmett.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something after we had closed to protect that space. When you were talking about Babaji again today, at the very beginning, my son lit up like he got a sticker, like when you tell a 2-year-old, you want a sticker, out of the blue, they're boom, light up so big. And he turned around and looked at me, he said, Babaji? And he just said it. He said it like 3 times. Babaji, Babaji, Babaji. I'm like,
it's not the first time, right? With Babaji.
No, this is the second time that he has, and I mean, like nobody, not when Grandpa comes over, not when, nothing like this. I'm like, I just looked at him like, is this really happening?
Yeah,
it is.
There is a connection for sure. I don't know even if it's I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But I'm sure there is a connection, a very deep connection. Yeah.
There's something there, but I wanted to share that with you. It was
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah. So thank you for everything today. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And send photos.
Yes.
Okay.
I will.